If I were able to go back 27, almost 27 years and tell ourselves something, I would say stick it out, it's worth it. Welcome to our channel. I am Jocelyn.
I'm Buddy.
And we are so happy that you are checking us out today. Our channel is going to be all things family, friends, all types of relationships, travel.
A little everything.
A little of everything. So if you are interested in seeing our life, how we are growing in our relationships, where we are going, what we're up to, what we think about restaurants, date nights.
Just good content.
Yeah. Please subscribe and share.
Link will be below.
Yes. And hit the notification bell.
Absolutely.
So Buddy and I were talking a day or so ago and was like, okay, we really haven't introduced who we are. So we've said that we're married, we have a couple kids, but what is it about us?
What's our story?
Right. How do we meet?
So there's probably several versions of how we met.
Yeah.
Jocelyn's friend, Dee Dee, probably would say she has the official introduction story.
Yes, yes. So I modeled while I was at NC State for Black Finesse. Shout out Black Finesse. And what we would do is visit some of the schools in the Triangle that had modeling groups as well, and we would come check out their fashion shows. During this one particular show at North Carolina Central University, as you would say, the illustrious.
Our modeling show was better than yours?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, we were visiting Bon Vivant at North Carolina Central, and Dee Dee was at the show, and she was, just gradually, she was like, oh, Buddy, hey, this is my friend Jocelyn from home. We don't really remember that.
I don't remember.
He didn't have a lasting impression on me at that point, maybe.
That might have been the case, but I don't remember. And I remember Dee Dee telling that story.
Yeah, she's told that story
I thought she said it was on the yard.
It may have been because I visited Central a couple different occasions. But I guess we fast forward maybe 2 years, and we are out at probably the best club in Raleigh, Plum Crazy.
Best club in the state of North Carolina.
And I'm there with my roommate and her mom, just so happened to be in town and was visiting, and we went out to the club.
Who takes their mom to the club?
Oh, we used to have a blast with her.
Yeah.
And apparently you had a friend that kind of,
Yeah, we like to entertain. Like to entertain.
So Buddy's friend is dancing with my roommate's mom on the dance floor, and he and I are just, sitting really similar to this. Not like trying to, it was just like.
I wasn't trying to holler.
Right.
In her mind, I wasn't, but I was setting it up.
Okay. So anyway, we were just laughing and talking about the fact that his friend was dancing with my friend's mom. We probably talked 20, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the night, I was like, all right, well, nice meeting you. See you later. Went on our separate ways.
I planted the seed. And I saw her prior to that night at Plum Crazy. I saw her at Plum Crazy a couple times before because one of her roommates was a flower girl.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw her and I was like, okay,
I made an impression.
Yes, she did. Absolutely. So the night when my boy was dancing with your roommate's mom was maybe the third or fourth time that I had already seen her out. So yeah, I kind of planted the seed. Yeah.
And then I guess it was maybe a weekend or two later. And again, Plum Crazy. And it's right before the Eagle Aggie Classic. And we see each other again. He sits down and we are
Well,
talking.
hold on.
Yes.
So I wasn't supposed to be there.
Well, I was gonna say you asked me if I was going to the Eagle Aggie Classic, and I was
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know, maybe. And I said, "Are you going?"
And I said, yeah, I'm playing in it.
And I said, "Well, what are you playing?" I mean, he could have been in the band for all I knew.
So my boy Mike Wall. So me and Mike Wall left campus. We were not supposed to leave campus. This was a Thursday night.
It was a Thursday.
So we was like, look, man, let's go to Raleigh. It's hit plumb crazy. And so we kind of, is that sneaking out?
If you're not supposed to be out, probably.
So we snuck out. We snuck out and went to the club, me and Mike Wall. What's up, my boy? So we get to the club, and me and Mike are kind of just chilling, standing in front of the dance floor, and I look and I saw her. And she had on some white shorts that was this big, right?
I did.
So as soon as I saw her, I turned to Mike. I said, yo, I said, that's going to be my lady right there. And Mike kind of looked at me back and with his Mike Wall, for real?
That's his story. I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask Mike Wall to confirm.
He will confirm.
Let's see if he can validate the story.
Yeah, so I said, that's going to be my girl right there. So I walk over, start talking. I had already planted the seed before, a few weekends ago, so she knew who I was. You know, hey, how you doing? You know, exchange pleasantries. I messed that all up.
Pleasantries.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
messed that up.
It's okay.
So yeah, it was cool, and then that's kind of
Yeah.
that was the beginning.
Yeah, and I would say it was obvious that you were trying to holler at me. But
That night. Oh,
that night.
okay.
But it wasn't blatant. So fellas, like, don't come with these lines and stuff, because that's not what it is.
You gotta have some chill.
Yeah, I mean, and we legitly the entire night, he and I sat and we just talked about stuff.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
It was. So that's where it began. So the first thing I noticed about Jocelyn the night I actually tried to holler and I got the digits was number one, with the little white shorts and the thighs. The thighs were, I mean, she had the little cut in the thigh. You know, when you're sitting down in the chair, you can see the little muscle.
Yeah.
So for me,
I used to have muscles.
So for me, that automatically assumed that there's a really good possibility she could be an athlete. And that
Were
matters.
you breathing?
Always.
Oh, God.
And that matters. That matters. So that was the first thing that I noticed, you know, when I saw the thighs were out. And I'm not going to say thunder thighs because they were in shape. So it must have been from all the gymnastics.
Probably. I think for me, I noticed very handsome guy and well dressed. He was dressed different than the other guys that were out of the clubs. He had on Bucks.
Had on some two-tone Bucks.
And I will tell you guys,
some suede joints.
They were. And I know you probably like, Bucks,
Yes,
that's whack. But back then,
you had to dress to get in the club. You couldn't wear jeans.
Yeah.
Ask Myron Flowers about his incident with Derek Hicks when he was trying to get in the plunk crazy with some jeans on. Couldn't wear jeans. You had to be dressed up. So I had on they were cream and brown two-tone Bucks.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
was fire. And I probably had on a cream polo shirt.
I don't remember. I just remember, I mean, like you said, everybody, you had to be dressed up, but it was just like your style was just different. And
So you're saying I had a little swag?
you had a little bit.
Okay.
And the other thing is that I just liked the way you approached me. You didn't approach me like I was on the menu or something to be conquered. So I appreciated that.
Absolutely. You know, I do my best. Some of the things I was looking for when I made the decision that I was going to shut it down.
Shut what down?
Just shut it down. Shut everything down.
I want to know what it and everything is.
To settle down and be
Okay.
in a committed relationship is
Okay.
what that means.
Gotcha.
So I think so for those who know my mom is very independent. My mom is a go-getter. So, you know, naturally I think, you know, guys look for what they had at home. So I wanted athletic and beautiful, of course. So I felt like I hit a home run. I feel like I got everything I was looking for. And then my mom is feisty, and I would say that you know
No,
you can be a little feisty as well,
no.
Vance County. So yeah, I think I got everything that that I was looking for. She can cook, and I knew back then I wanted someone who could cook because I can't. So, but we didn't know she could cook.
Yeah.
It was like I think she kind of did it on purpose. She kind of wrote it out in phases.
I made great sandwiches for you though.
Ham and cheese sandwiches, salt vinegar chips.
Yeah. I think for me, similar to you, my dad is tall, so I wanted someone who was taller than me. I wanted to feel, I don't know, it's just like, it's just this feeling that, it's almost like protection or protected kind of feel. I wanted that, and I wanted someone that respected me. And I think going back to the conversations that we had, even the night that we were out with my roommate's mom, I just felt respected by you,
Right.
and that was something that I really wanted. I think that one of the telltale signs for me that I knew Buddy was the one is when you know in we met when we were 20, so we were very young. And with any new relationship there are challenges and things that you face. And for me, I distinctly remember there were times that I felt like, I don't know if it was that um, just people coming in, and I don't feel like I felt like there were people around that were trying to be divisive in our relationship. And when I had that feeling that was like, I am not about to let somebody mess this up. I think that was one of like an indicator for me that it was like, yo, this is the guy that I'm going to be with. Because any other time I'd be like, forget you, I can find somebody else.
You'd have been out.
Out.
Because there was some famous rappers, R&B stars that used to come to the club, and they used to, they sought her out, and I had to shut all that down. But anyway, so for me, like I said earlier, when I walked that Thursday night before the Eagle Aggie Classic, when I walked in, I told Mike Wall, I looked at you and told Mike Wall, I said, yo, that's the one right there, bro. And then what put the exclamation mark on it is the first time I went to see her at her apartment. I walk in and she's got the game on. So the Minnesota Vikings are playing somebody.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they were playing, but she had the game on. And I'm like, she tried to cut the game on because brother was coming over.
Right.
So she
Who just so happens to play football.
She gonna cut the game on, you know what I mean? So I get in there, she got the game. I'm like, okay, I see you watching the game. So I start quizzing her.
He did.
So what does this mean? What does that mean? And she's like, oh, that's that. And this is this.
He was trying to play me.
And I was like, okay.
Hey, I'm a daddy's girl, and I would sit and watch all sports as my dad. So, shout out, Pops.
Shout out. So yeah, that was definitely those two, instances where the, time I knew, yep, that's it.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because those are kind of like cute times. It's like, oh, that's cute. You thought that he or she were the one, and I think that as we continued and stayed committed to seeing this thing through, it's like more things started revealing themselves that made us be like, you know what?
Right.
I'm going to ride. And I think that that's the most important thing. You have to commit. If your relationship that you are in or the one that you are pursuing is something that you want, you have to make the decision to commit to it.
Yeah, you do. And there were some times where I had to grow up and I was immature, I was selfish, so for me, there were some situations where I was just like, hey man, you about to lose this, and this is about to be gone. So I had to get my life together.
So glad he did.
So some things that I did not do
What you won't
I
do.
did not partake in prior to me and Jocelyn, getting really serious and dating real heavy. The first thing I would say is I didn't eat Chinese food. I did not eat Chinese food. So my grandma, my aunt, my mom, they all cooked. It wasn't a matter of what I was eating. It was who was cooking. So my mom can burn, my grandmother could burn, and my aunt as well. So, and they cook Monday through Thursday, actually Sunday through Thursday maybe. So Friday we always went out to eat.
Where'd you go?
I can't remember the name of the restaurant now.
I think you told me it was like Captain Stanley.
Captain Stanley. Yes, Lord. Captain Stanley. So Friday, that's where we went. Saturday, it was kind of whatever. But I didn't eat Chinese food because my mom and my grandma and my
They didn't
aunt
cook
didn't.
that.
They didn't make that. So that's one thing. The second thing I'll say is sushi. So, and I love sushi now. We love sushi. But I didn't eat that. No, sir. I was not eating sushi. And the fact that we were in a mall somewhere, and she's like, "You want some sushi?" And I kind of looked at her like, "Who are you?" I thought I knew you. So sushi's another. Reading. I did not enjoy reading. I was not a go grab a book and read. So I give her the credit for that, and that's new. I just started that last year.
It's a new development.
It's a new development. What else? What else did I not do?
I will say for me, probably the most impactful thing that I wasn't really a touchy-feely person.
Bring it in.
I mean, Buddy is, when I see you, I'm hugging you. When I'm leaving, I'm hugging or giving you a kiss. And it might be some random moments in between.
I'm a butt toucher. Pop. All day. Carry on.
Yeah. So he's touchy-feely.
Yeah.
You can refer back to our book review, 5 Love Languages, Physical Touch.
Number
He's
5.
the poster child. So I think that was the most impactful for me because, my I'm an only child and we grew up in a house. I grew up in a household that it was like we said, "I love you." We wrote, "I love you," but we weren't like huggers like that. So it was kind of strange for me. So I think that's the most impactful because it's also something that I'm really trying hard to do to give to my kids as well.
Right.
Our kids.
The last thing is I didn't drink coffee. I wasn't a coffee. Now I can go order it. Like when I first tried to order her coffee at Starbucks,
I was embarrassed.
I would butcher it.
Yes.
Now I roll up in there and
He said, "I want a grande." He's good now.
I'm good now. I'll go up in there and let's get it in.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I would say off the top of my head, those are the few that I can say I did not do. So, a pet peeve that I had to kind of get over for peace in the house. Some would say that I'm a little OCD. So, and this is, yeah. So I can be a neat freak, which is my fault. It's me. So stuff that's normal aren't normal to me. So there were some things that, I'm not just used to certain things. So I had to figure out how to say.
Are you trying to say I'm messy?
No, I'm not saying that. Like back in the day, I used to vacuum and have my lines had to be straight. You know what I'm saying?
He vacuums and he doesn't want you to walk on the carpet. So how am I going to get to the bed?
You're messing my lines up. So yeah, I think for me, and it's kind of, a question of what did you learn about yourself?
Yeah.
I learned that I'm a little weird and OCD when it comes to that, and that's not normal. Everybody doesn't live like that. So,
everybody does not have lines in their carpet
right,
all the time.
All the time. So, So I remember when we first got married and we were going through marriage counseling.
Well, no, this is before we got married.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So prior to getting married, we had to take a course
With the pastor.
With the pastor, and we talked about it. You know, hey, what? And I was like, look, man, I like everything to be spotless, be clean. And so we came to a compromise, and he was like, how about you guys just keep the bottom floor where everybody's going to be clean, and we work our way up, and we work on the other floors.
Now, mind you, we did have a child before we got married.
Yes. So that was a 6-year-old running around wilding.
Well, we had 0 to 6. So it's like, how are you going to have a house spotless with a toddler?
Yeah. Hey, I admit it. I was a little over the top.
Slightly. Pet peeve of mine. One, when you leave the room, you turn the light off. I will go through the house. Like before, I would make a statement or an announcement about the fact that lights are left on or cabinet doors are left open. Now I just go through and I turn the lights out. Sometimes you might be about to go right back in.
You don't have to do that no more. It's not the cabinet doors.
Your bathroom door. I do.
What you mean?
Almost every morning. Yes.
No.
You know what?
My cabinet door?
Time, yes, the door that you hang where your little thing.
That's never open.
I'll take a picture.
I need receipts. Hey, we're going to have to throw the red flag.
Hey.
The replay.
Stay on your toes, partner.
Okay.
Because
right.
I will have footage.
Okay.
Yes. So those were two of my pet peeves, I think.
So first of all, you need a little ambiance sometimes with the lighting. Home
Buddy,
automation.
Okay, so you know how you can go in the bathroom and then there's separate light switches? He will turn on all of the lights.
Because I need to see what's going on.
You don't need all those lights on. Not all the time. And if you're not in there, they don't need to be on.
So
I turned them off.
So what I found out, what I learned about my wife is that she might be a vampire. Because she would rather sit in a pitch black room and not turn the lights on. I'm like, yo, I want to see what I'm saying.
Hey, I am conserving energy for our planet.
What's up?
Save the planet. One thing that I love most about our relationship, I'll say it's going to be more than one. My bad. One thing is that I'm super proud of our growth, the growth that we've had in our relationship. But I will have to say, I am just at peace, I guess is the best way to describe it, is that I feel like I have a partner. Like, I know that if I need somebody to pray for me, I got it. If I'm like, hey, we need to ride out, I got it. So it's just good to know that I have somebody that I know is going to have my back at all times.
Yeah, I would agree. I know, back in the day, they would say, yeah, your spouse should be your best friend. And in the beginning, I was like,
You like, I got my boys.
I got my boys. They're my best friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really didn't know that we would get to that point. But I can honestly say that she's my best friend now, So like she said, I mean, people see us and they're like, hey, do you guys ever, like, are you always together? Like when you see one, there's the other. 7.5, 8 times out of 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I tell people all the time, hey man, I like my wife.
Yeah.
And we actually.
It's a difference when you like your spouse.
It is. And we like some similar things. We like a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I agree. And bestie, BFF.
Can we create a handshake?
We should get a tattoo. And a handshake.
I want a handshake.
To me, the single most important thing to a healthy relationship is just good communication. And I think that that's something that I'm still learning, and something I had to learn was, how to communicate. How to feel a certain way and present it so that I'm not coming across, in a like harsh or what you're not doing.
Or so that the other one is receptive.
Right.
Of what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Because I want you to be able to hear what I'm saying without feeling attacked.
Say it again. Oh.
That's one of the ways that
I hear you. And so I used to always say, I hear you.
and then I say, but are you listening?
Yeah, so a goal of mine is to listen, to understand, and not just to respond.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've been very guilty of just hearing something and just saying something in return and not really digesting or computing what you're saying
Yeah.
and being, you know, methodical about my answer. So communication, I would say since our communication has increased and we've done a much better job of communicating, understanding how to communicate with each other versus, you know, a free-for-all.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that communication is very important. I 100% agree that you listen to understand and not to respond. And I think that God gave you two ears and one mouth for a reason. If I were able to go back 27, almost 27 years and tell ourselves something, I would say stick it out, it's worth it. That there are going to be times that things are going to be hard.
Right.
You're going to cry. And you're gonna laugh. But I think that the joy that despite, hard times, times when we were like, hey, are we gonna make it? Death, heartbreak, I think I would have to say that, just tough it out. Make the decision to commit to do it, that it's all gonna work out.
Choose us.
Yeah.
Yeah, choose us. I would agree. I would tell myself, you know, I would tell myself, hey, it's okay, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to just go ahead and open up. You know, because I don't know that I had ever, yes, I had never like really opened up to let someone in 100%. So I would say, hey man, it's all right. Go ahead and open
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Advice for others. So younger couples, older couples doesn't matter. My advice would be, you know, one, the communication. Two would be patience. You know, being patient and just knowing that, you know, it's gonna be okay. You know, and like I said earlier, you know, once you make the decision to choose us,
Right.
then the last thing that's missing is just making sure that you have that spiritual foundation.
Yeah. I think it goes back to, for me, it kind of settles in on what we decided is our word of the day, of our word of the year, and that is commitment. Commit to it. If your relationship is what you want, commit. Commit. I will also say a piece of advice that someone shared with me. I actually heard it in a wedding. Someone said, like the pastor delivered a homily, and in the wedding they said, you know, when you look at a socket and a plug, the plug only fits into the socket.
Right.
It's like these two are the things that go together. You should not put anything else into that socket. And I feel like you have to protect your relationship. I know that, we have friends and family and people that you confide in, but they don't need to know everything in your relationship. For one, if Buddy does something that makes me mad, hurts my feelings, or anything like that, it is more likely that I'm going to forgive him quicker than my mom would.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to share everything with everyone, especially social media.
Oh. Yeah, the last thing I would say is in our devotion at night, it talked about your relationship is like a bank. and you have to make daily deposits,
Yeah.
weekly deposits. And I'm a firm believer, and I tell our kids this all the time. They probably get tired of me saying it, but you get out what you put in.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so if you want a healthy relationship, you got to put in the work.
Yeah, you got to work. It's not going to just happen. You have to work
And it's
for
constant work.
it. Yeah. If you want it, you'll work for it.
I'm working right now.
You are. You're doing a pretty good job. Yeah.
All right, guys, so I'm sure you see the funky fresh threads again this time. Scripted apparel.
Yeah, if you're interested in picking up a sweatshirt, a hoodie, a t-shirt, check out scriptedapparel.com. Chase greatness. Thank you guys once again. I hope that you have found this to be insightful, that you learned a little bit about us that you may not have known before. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Comment below if there's something that you would like us to share or consider as a topic for another video. And we just want to know what you think about what we're doing so far. So we appreciate you all.